Welcome to this great 3 BHK that we have done at Lodha. This is at Parel. And I want to explain all the things that we explained in our initial meetings about finishes, about essential design items. And we wanted to make a really nice and detailed video. So join me on this great journey. Let's start with the foyer. Okay, so in a foyer, which to many people is like, what is this space? So this is the space just before the living room and just after the entry. And there are some essential design things that happen over here. So let's start one by one. The first thing in this space is in fact the shoe rack. If you see in most houses, in fact, you have the DB box and all of its monstrosity. You can cover it. We can put this. Then you have a space for shoes. Now many times you will have a constrained space like this. So you can have these swivel fittings. And of course, because here you have to store the shoes vertically, it's never a high capacity shoe rack ever. So what do we do with that? So we actually integrate a storage right into either the living or the dining. And there it is integrated in a way that it looks like a good multi-purpose storage, not like a shoe rack. So if you see over here, we've taken this beautiful terrazzo marble top. This is in fact a laminate and you have this lovely soft edge also to it. Of course, over here if you see, we've taken multiple shelves so you can store huge number of shoes. All of these are of course soft close and the shoe capacity is amazing. Of course, in modern day, you don't just have shoes. You'll also have bags. You'll have sporting bags. Sometimes you even have a football or two. Perfect to have a storage over here. And if we can design it nicely with some nice lights, you can have a vase or two, and it looks really nice. A good seating over here. You can remove your shoes over here. This is a nice place to sit. And then of course you can keep your bag and various other car keys and things. So we do have a storage here and we have a storage here. But you'll see that we've kept different depths of these storages. So the depth here is for the seating and the depth here is so that we get stuff in, but it is not killing our space. So it's always Bombay. We have to be cognizant of that. Back to the foyer. Now when we enter, we see this super blank wall and our customer didn't have any artwork to put up, and that's the case with a lot of people. So we added this really nice molding. This is a combination of molding and grooving and paint. That's it. There is no paneling here. And so A, it's cost effective, B, it's quite nice and it's super trending. Third thing that I really like to show people in this area is the digital lock. I'd really recommend this. You can buy this in various companies, and this really helps. You can get it in digital RFID, or you can have it with a passcode. These are really nice. This is a good replacement to your traditional Godrej locks, etc. So welcome to the living dining space. What we have done here is packed in a few important storage items. So you have the TV unit, TV panel, storage over here, and a Mandir. Now this is a lot. So if you have home theater systems, a woofer, a subwoofer, then the depth of these units tend to be deep. If you have just a soundbar, you're all set. We can actually make this into a floating unit. This has two parts to it. There is the panel at the back and then there is this unit at the bottom. Of course, you can take this floating like I said, and you can also have it with a really nice puffy tucked in here. So if you want to add a few guests into your scheme of things, you have an additional storage. Here we've taken a very interesting TV panel. So this is basically a Patagonia marble tile. And you can see it's quite a grand tile and it's an awesome backdrop to this huge TV for a great home viewing experience. Now the important thing over here is, while we've taken the overall room to be off-white, the floor has a beige, of course it's marble already, and we've added this pop of color in the room and it gives it a brightness, it gives it a happiness, and that's what we aim to do in every space. The issue with white is that it tends to be a little bit boring unless you texturize it. So if you see over here, we've taken this very pretty marble texture tile, and if you see over here, we've taken this really nice terrazzo textured laminate, and then we've coupled it with the plain off-white laminate. What it really does is it creates that interest as your eye moves around the room, and the whiteness and the brightness lift it. The other thing that we do in a lot of the spaces is add a little bit of softness, and that comes with the design elements. Of course, you can choose a modern home, a very Scandinavian inspired home, but here we've added these arches, and inside these arches, we filled it with a really pretty customized wallpaper. I know a lot of you folks sometimes get scared with wallpaper, but these lovely canvas textures, so this has a texture, it doesn't have to be papery. These today come with their own warranties. They come with customizations of colors and designs and intensity, everything. So a must have actually, don't worry about it. And it creates this lovely pattern. You can never get these patterns in paints. We do customize the sofa. So if you'll see over here, on this entire sofa, the accent chair, the dining set is all customized, and this is adding to the pop of color. You'll see what we've subtly done is added this pop into this wallpaper, and it really adds that little bit of harmonizing. It feels really nice. We do customize these, so you'll see these are actually softer. This is for that really nice comfort feel, and you'll see this is also soft. And what we do is we customize the depth of the sofa, the height of the sofa. And these are all sofas made by us. So you'll see they are actually very smooth to use and very smooth to close. And I know some people have strong views about recliners, but we try to make this as slim and sleek as is possible. Come, I'll show you the other things we have done over here. In the overall house, of course, we have taken a beige tone, as I said. So you have the shears and the curtains. Shears are these lacy things, and curtains are the main curtains. We do customize them, so in the sense that we add these bands. These bands actually add an interest to an otherwise plain curtain. And these tracks that we load them on the ceiling. The higher the curtain, the more the room height feels. Of course, it doesn't change, but it feels clean. The other good hack, and this we do in Bombay, is to have a flat fall ceiling. The fall ceiling has pretty lights, it has panel lights, it has spotlights, it has chandeliers, but it's just 3 inches thick. So it gives you a sense of space. It's not blank, but it is essentially covering all your lighting and creating a really nice even space. And this is actually a very nice must-have. It doesn't reduce the height. So this is actually about a 9 feet home, and we have reduced only 3 inches. So it doesn't feel small. The other thing I want to show you is actually the Mandir. We really work hard on Mandirs, and this being a Gujarati household, Mandir is very important. Again, Vastu located. All of these designs are laser cut, and we custom them, of course, based on whatever the individual needs are. There are 2-3 important parts to Mandir. One is, of course, the door. Then is the backlit acrylic. You can customize it, depends on the murti and the other things you want to keep. And we do keep this quartz top. This is good for stains, for haldi, kumkum. And then you have a pull-out tray. This is for your diya, garbati, any prasad and things. And then you have the storage over here. This is for any mandir-based samagri. And of course, if you want to have any other storage over here. And then this basically closes off. So if you have guests over, you want to shut away the space. And then some people are very particular about locking out the Bhagwanji. So this is a semi-open. So it's a nice, pretty screen, semi-open, good mandir, well-placed mandir, Vastu compliant mandir. Okay, and that brings us to the dining side of things. So while we have kept the living room with a very inviting look, the dining is placed close to the kitchen. We've maintained the same pop of color. We customize all these things. So if you see the leg detail, the polish detail, the gold accents, those are part of the design. And here we've done something that I personally like. This is actually a very easy to do thing. This is all in POP sheets with marble paint, and it has a really nice textural quality. Again, no paneling. You don't have to do paneling for all these things. This can be achieved in POP with some texture, and literally this is the marble texture of information paint. This is really beautiful to have. So it's called stucco. You can definitely get it. It has lots of different colors too. I really like this play of the arches, part of this wall. You'll see how they've played with the proportion of the arches. It has a nice flow and a nice segregation, and I love that about it. Here, we have done a very interesting thing. You'll see all the accents are gold. And when I say the word gold, people get scared. So you'll see the brass inlay, this thing, the handles, knobs, and all the legs of the furniture are gold. But the amount of gold is very little. So it's really like jewelry and it feels very nice. So don't be scared of the metallics. Rose gold, gold, black. These are nice colors to have. So you should go for it. I love gold personally. Now when it comes to bedrooms, there are of course the important space planning things like the bed, the wardrobe, a study table and a TV unit. In this case, we've been Vastu compliant, so we had a little bit of constraint with the way we can organize the space. But the important thing is that to keep the colors light. In a small room, the lighter the colors, the brighter the room, the more you can add Vastu colors or any pop of color. Now the other question that we usually get is what are exactly these finishes, right? So I would like to show you. See, all of these are the beds, and all of our beds, they come soft close. Okay, and you can see Hafele written on all the fittings, all the pumps, everything. Then we have a very special kind of wardrobe. These are headache top line sliding doors. So the fitting is actually on the top. All our wardrobes come with the lighting. They are all customized. All of these will have these beautiful finishes. You can take fabric finish of 3-4 different colors. You can take white also if you like that. The hangers, the shelves, the tijori, if at all you are having any other requirement. So if you see over here, is customized. We do take care to put all these brushes over here. So if you can zoom in a little bit, you will see the brush at this corner, and this basically helps to reduce the dust. This is a hetic brush you can see over here, and it stops the dust. The important things to understand is the customization, the matte finishing, the soft edges, the usage of branded hardware, and so the warranty from our side, and of course all this customized design on the inside of all the stores. Now in addition to all this, of course from a space planning point of view, we add a lot of interesting elements. Like for instance, we needed a Vastu compliant mirror. So it is on the side of the wardrobe over here, and you have all your storage, and all of this is soft close. So the mirror, non-bed facing, soft close. Additionally, if you see, we put in a storage over here. So this is all for, all storage is not wardrobe related. It doesn't have to be clothes. There are a lot of times where in fact it's papers, bank papers, or other things that you need like filing or books, and this is a really good unit to have. Okay. Now when we made this, obviously we were getting a corner, and we decided two things. One, that we can have a beautiful rolling shutter on the corner, and this storage goes into the depth, which is called a blind corner. So we always maximize space like this. This is part of the 3D that we plan. Another important thing, and this is something that a lot of people ask us constantly, is how do you conceal the switches? And if you see, we have embedded a pipe inside from here to here and here to here. So all your HDMI cable goes into the wall and comes out at the right spot, and it doesn't have to hang in the middle. And then all you have to do is load the TV. And this is part of the detailing that we do in every house. So this is the point into which you put your HDMI. There's an already embedded cable, and it comes out at this end. So this is part of the detailing we do at every house. So rest assured. And of course, from a design point of view, we take care of all the spaces and niches. There's another interesting thing in this house. So you may not have noticed, till this line in fact, there's a column. a huge column, and inside this we have put in a storage. So you can see the storage over here, and this is not to waste a single inch of space in this house. Welcome to the quintessential children's room in Bombay. Usually a tiny space, 9 by 9, 10 by 9, and you'll be worried, how do I fit so many things? Kids' rooms have to be maximized. So you'll have the bed, you'll have the storage, you'll have, of course, the wardrobe requirement. You can never stint on that. You will have a dresser requirement, study table requirement, and of course, it's a complete criminal activity to stop not using niches. So if you see over here, we have a column, and what we have done is create a storage extending the column. So it looks like a really nice clean space. Lines are clean, and we've put a lovely softboard on it. So you can pin up all your things. A nice Instagram wall as well. And then the most essential thing we forget in kids' room, a place for their bags, all the laptop bags, school bags, sports bags, a million bags. Now, a lot of times what happens, kids of course need a bed to sleep, but when their friends come over, you want to actually extend the bed, right? And you want to actually have a storage so that the extra pillows and everything is kept in a place. So these are the pull-out beds. These are excellent because you have a bed at a place where you can sit very easily. Easy to use, easy to move, space saving, and then when it's closed, fabulous space to just spread out in the room. Okay, now sliding doors are the most essential space saver because you don't have a space to open the door and you can in fact walk very easily. Again, we use only headache fittings. These are soft close fittings. This is called top line L. So you can see that the bar is on the top, and of course we use these brushes. The brushes are super essential for all sliding. It's a fully customized wardrobe with lights, and then we have these nice fabric finish options that really add richness to your space. All of these designs, again, these are all factory finished. All of the edges are really smooth, and of course, you can take shoe drawers or tijori or hanging as per your kids' needs. The important thing of what we do is if you zoom in here, these are all removable shelves. So we've put a hanger here. It seems very counterintuitive, but it is so that you can in fact lift these shelves off and you can remove them or put them back based on your requirements. So these are actually loose shelves. They're not flimsy loose shelves, but they are removable shelves. Okay, so then this is the full height mirror, Vastu compliant, not focusing on the bed. And inside you have your complete storage of all your cosmetics and of course beauty needs. Perfect for a kid's room. Okay, we redid the bathroom here again to make it Vastu compliant. What I want to actually focus on is these beautiful tiles that we got, and to keep the bathroom light, we have taken up a nice light colored marble and then coupled it with this pop of color. A grandparent's room, a dadi's room. These are really nice rooms to design, and in this case we made it Vastu compliant. So the color over here was peach, and we've actually made it more soft with the addition of a teal or a green shade. It adds a nice complementary color to it. So over here, of course, we've taken this really nice wall art which we customize. We do use Asian paints, washable paints on the walls. So this is that. A lot of people have questions about what do you use on the wall. So it's Asian Paints Royale, and on the ceiling it is anti-fungal paint. Now, of course, when it comes to wardrobes, we do customize the handles, we customize, the color combinations. We only work in ply, and so I want to actually draw your attention to this. These are called stiffeners. These only come in ply when your shutter is made of ply, so that it doesn't bend. These are what we add. We've also added this very cool lock. I personally love it. So if you see, there are no tower bolts in this wardrobe. No tower bolts at all. What we have to do is simply close this, and it actually joints itself up and down. So you could see that lock. It joints itself up and down. So it's a very cool lock. And all of this, of course, is soft close. All our fittings are soft close. Okay. Same with over here. All of this is a customized wardrobe. All our wardrobes have this really nice automatic lighting. And of course, we do customize everything. Colors are customized, combinations are customized, designs are customized. Another important question that people ask us is, are these Roman blinds really nice? Do people use them in houses? Of course, they are the ultimate space-saving thing you can do. See, if you have curtains, they all bundle up and they take up about 6 inches of space. But if you have these, you can literally see how they are so window hugging. And of course, you can customize them. The fabric that you take on the blinds are the same as you take on curtains. It's the same thing. You can use branded fabrics. In this case, we have used decor. Now over here, we have customized the sofa. We do customize the design, the height of the handle, the kind of seating. A lot of people ask us about this. What kind of foam do you use? So we use a 40 density foam. This is when you need a good back support, right? You don't want to be sinking in. You don't want to have a difficulty getting up. So then we use a slightly stiffer foam. When we do this video in the living room, I'll highlight the part about the softer foam and the more comfort feel. There is a subtle engineering that goes into it, but yes, if you want to customize it with the fabric, with the cut, we do have all these options. So when you design with us, we'll talk to you about it. Welcome to the kitchen. So here we've fully renovated the kitchen, and if you are familiar with this project, this is Lodha Park or Lodha Allura, and the kitchen is pretty much this small, and there is a storage at the back. We've taken that storage in, and what I really love about this color combination is the English colors. So we've taken this beautiful wooden tile, so it really does feel like wood, but it's a ceramic tile, and it gives you this very pretty light wood feel, warm feel, and then coupled with this very pretty blue. This is a toned blue from merino laminate, and of course the gold. So don't worry about the gold. Gold is a very pretty accent. I think it's really lifted this space. So here we've used a quartz top. This quartz is from Kalinga. We usually recommend either Spectra or Kalinga. These are usually stain free. And this pure white quartz lifts the space. You can see the lightness it has brought, and the blue is an accent, Vastu compliant for the space, and also lifting the space. It brings so much of happiness, and you feel like waking up to this kitchen in the morning. So let's go through the kitchen. We added a new sink. So over here, this is a sink with a lid, and the lid is basically a wash tray. You can move that around. Over here we have a space for matka. There is an RO below, and of course this space continues into the cooking counter. Here we have a charcoal chimney. I actually recommend this because a lot of people are like, oh, how does this even work? The fumes go up from here and it drops the clean air here. It's just an air circulation. It's not like it takes the dirty fumes and drops those outside. So actually this is nice. If we had not taken it, we would actually had a duct that would go all the way through and completely clog up that storage. And in Bombay, frankly, each and every inch is important. Let's go through the kitchen baskets. Okay. So over here, this is my favorite, tandem boxes or Inotech baskets. This depends on the brand, that's why the terminology. We use only Hetic and Hathaway, so you can see these are all soft close. These are perfect for actually kadhais, pressure cookers, steel baskets, or steel vessels. This is perfect. Then we have our essential 3. So this is basically the cutlery tray for spoons and things. This is for smaller storage, katoris and lids. And then of course you have the thali inlet. So we keep a loose thali inlet. You can actually add plates and move it around. So if you have a permanent thali inlet, that is actually a basket that is permanently part of this, then you'll find that the usage around it is not that efficient. So I really like thali inlet, again from Headache. This is part of our essential kitchen. So this is basically a pull-out, the 3-tier pull-out. This is for masalas, the 2 for masalas and 1 for oil. This is very important around the hob. I think that really helps a lot. Now many times if you have this sort of an L-shaped or a C-shaped kitchen, you will get what is called a blind corner. And in these blind corners, many times people like to store heavy duty things. So we've kept a blind corner for all the heavy duty items. Under the sink is of course your dustbin, wet and dry, no doubt about that. Now here what we did is we added this partition. This is basically for the washing machine. So it brings in the light. This is part of the washing machine area that will come in here with a clothes pulley above. So clothes pulley basically goes up and down. A lot of people ask us, what do you give in this? What is a part of this? It's a simple wire pulley rope. You load the clothes and you hang it. This is actually important because most societies don't allow clothes outside. So this is an essential thing unless you buy a dryer, which also I recommend. Okay, coming to this part of the kitchen. So since this was a 2-part kitchen, we have the cooking side and then we have the prep side over here. Here we have this rolling shutter. I personally like this. This is great to keep your mixie, to keep your sandwich toaster, and then you can actually just close it off. We do integrate it with the plug point so that you can plug and play in place. So over here if you see, we do have the wicker basket. This is for onions, potatoes, even fruit sometimes. And of course all our wall units have this lovely fabric backward side, and this is all soft clothes. If you see over here again, all soft clothes. Now what I really like, and this is a space saving thing, is to load your microwave on this unit over here. I don't want to keep it actually on the counter because counter space is also very precious. We would want it for all the other appliances that we have. Great to lift it. Now you'll see that the height of the microwave is slightly lower than the wall unit. This is so that if you have hot dishes, it's not like toppling over. You take it and you keep it here. And this space essentially is about 6 inches less than this. And then you get your perfect kitchen. Of course, here we've taken a mega storage. I love these large drawers. They're just so nice. You can actually put things as you want them. The more you compartmentalize, the more you'll find that I'm not maximizing it. So, that is your essential kitchen. Okay, passages tend to be so boring, and of course in all Bombay spaces you have these long corridors, and what we really like to do is add some fab lighting, put up a good wall for memory space so you can have all your beautiful family memories. And of course this door that cuts off the living room from the bedrooms, it does 2 very important things. One, of course, privacy, as you can see. The second thing is it improves the air conditioning load, that is for the air conditioner in your living room. So this is an essential. I think this really helps. I love the lighting, it's just so important that your passage is not boring. Highlight it. Of course, over here we are running all the AC conduits, and so the height is lower. You can see the height difference, but that doesn't mean you can't make it fun. Of course, we do have a marble flooring everywhere, and beige is the undertone, but we've added a lot of brightness and whiteness in this passage, and it lifts the space. It makes it bigger.